Here with Erik Volt. Erik Volt is the executive director of the North Dakota Association of Rural Water Systems. Erik, great career in rural water so far. Got to know though, out of the gate, what led you to get involved in the water industry, and just kind of tell us about how your journey started.
Sure. Thanks for having me here today.
Yeah.
So I'm a lifetime resident of North Dakota. Went to college there. Started my career, I worked in the environmental end of it at a coal mine. That was kind of just temporary did that during summers during college, kind of temporary after I graduated. Needed some health insurance, so I got on with the state of North Dakota and I worked in the, helped water and wastewater systems with certification, did training, did inspections of those facilities. And then that led me to the Rural Water Association, kind of doing the same things. I took a job in their training department and then did that for 8 years. And in 2010, I became the executive director and been doing that for the last 15 years. So 23 years with the association.
That's great.
And just goes just a blink of the eye.
Before the association in your college days, I heard an interesting fact that you're a two-time Hall of Famer at your university. Walk us a little bit through your athletic career and just what that meant, that season of your life. But how do you end up becoming a two-time Hall of Famer?
Right. Yeah. And it's part of my history. I don't talk about it too much. There's no bragging about it anyway. I mean, it was, small-time college football in North Dakota, but we had a great season. I was, again, blessed to be a two-time All-American, and
That's
then
awesome.
was put into the Hall of Fame in the early 2000s, and then our team was inducted later on. So that's how
Wow.
the two-time becomes
Man, that's impressive.
reality.
Is there a project, just looking back at your early career when you got into the industry, a project that stands out as, hey, this is really a career that is valuable and that I see just making a difference in? Anything come to mind there, just from your early career?
Just helping a lot of the small systems. They don't have a lot of resources, and when you come
Right.
in and help them, even with a small project and just a thanks or a handshake or a hug, and you look back and it's like, that meant something to them. Maybe it's a small project, maybe it's a small help, but those things are better than any award or any accolade that you can receive. Just to see the smile on a face, to know you made a difference to somebody that day or that month or that year.
Look at the impact that North Dakota Association of Rural Water Systems is just having on small and even just medium-sized systems all across your state. Look at the work over the last few years. What are you guys most proud of right now? What are some of the things that you're doing for your members that just really are helping them?
So just the day-to-day activities with my staff, helping with just, like I said, those small things that people would just think are small things, but it's huge to those people right here, right now. We do on a larger scale, we help our larger systems provide water to nearly 300,000 people in our state. So that's almost half the population in North Dakota.
Wow.
Getting water to people that aren't able to wash clothes, aren't able to drink that water on a daily basis, things that most of us take for granted every morning, just to make sure that they have that availability on their tap every morning.
We talk about a number of challenges facing the water and wastewater industry currently. As you look at the next, just number of years out, what are some of the biggest challenges you see? But then also maybe some of the biggest opportunities you see for growth and change with those challenges.
Right. In North Dakota, we have a lot of small systems. Most of our systems serve a population less than 500. Most of them serve less than 200. The workforce is an issue. Most of the systems have a one-person show, so when that person leaves or dies or goes on to somewhere else, there's not a second person there to quickly take over. So we're helping those systems get a plan in place to make a seamless transition, or at least give them some places to go for new employees. And then in North Dakota, we do have a lot of aging infrastructure. I'm sure that's similar to all over the nation, but a lot of older systems probably haven't planned the best, so they don't have a lot of cash on hand to make those repairs. So we're trying to help them with, capital improvement plans, asset management, and things like that to keep them, keep the water flowing and the wastewater disposed of properly.
When you look at your job as executive director, what's the favorite part of the job? When you wake up and you say, hey, my favorite part of being ED or the funnest part of my job is, and then what are some of the more challenging portions of your role as executive director?
The favorite part is the people in the business, the water operators, the system officials, the board members on the rural systems, the managers of the rural systems, they're all there, not because they all make $1 million, they're there because they have a servant's heart.
Yep.
They know what they do matters. And it's the most basic necessity of life. Again, like I mentioned before, we all take it for granted. I know we all have at some point in our life, but when you don't have it, then you understand how important it is. So I would say the people, and just making those small differences.
That's huge. And maybe one of the more challenging portions of the job, something that most people wouldn't understand or know a day in your world, and some of the more challenging things that meet your schedule as ED.
Right. So I help out quite a bit on not just the national legislative end, the state legislative end, just helping with policy and funding for small projects and doing some things in the trenches that that people just don't notice, but all of a sudden there'll be a little more money in the rural water bucket for funding, or a negative policy change might have been in the works, and we kind of mitigated it and mediated it out to something that's workable for all the systems and that they didn't have to deal with. So some of those just behind the scenes things that the association can take care of for its members are some of the big things.
Look, there's a number of industry-leading companies who support or sponsor North Dakota Association of Rural Water Systems in some capacity, whether it be through their associate membership or exhibiting or advertising. Talk about the importance that those partnerships play in the overall work you're doing and just what it means to your association.
Yes, the partnerships definitely are a huge part of the association. We're a membership association, so we have city members, rural water system members, and associate members that all help keep the system rolling. We have our annual expo coming up where our associate members play a huge part in our exhibit hall. Well, they will show all their exciting new services, new products, new things in the water and wastewater industry, do a lot of training for us, not only at the expo, but throughout the year. And then partners like you, where we look at maybe not so specific water and wastewater, but more of some marketing and other different unique opportunities in the water and wastewater world.
As you look at Erik Volt, the executive director, I know you're a humble guy, but the legacy that you leave behind, you look back one day and you say, hey, I hope when people think of my work in the industry, I was able to accomplish fill in the blank for us.
If it was up to me, I would want to make sure that everybody in North Dakota had access to clean drinking water. Even in 2025 in the state of North Dakota, there's people that haul water, don't have adequate water, and that's not right. And want to be able to do whatever I can do to make sure that everybody has that same opportunity as our friends and neighbors to the left, to the right, to the middle. I think it's just a given right that we want to make sure that everybody has great, clean drinking water.
Well, that's a great answer, and I know that you've had a huge impact already in your career so far, and in a lot of ways, you're just getting started. So looking forward to continue to track the work that you and your team do, and just thanks again. Thanks for sitting down with us today, helping us get to know you and the association a little better. But yeah, we're grateful, and just thanks for all that you guys do.
Thank you. It was an honor.